Right then, back to this thing. So we got good news and bad news. Took it for a little run round the block, did about 10 miles on it, and it ran absolutely beautiful. So I put it away for the night and decided the next morning we were going to take it out and do a really good run on it. And I managed to get about another 10 miles away from the house. Everything running nice. Then all of a sudden I came up to a road junction and it just cut out. And it started straight back up, but it wouldn't tick over. That was a little odd, and I wasn't sure at the time if it had dropped a cylinder. But I carried on, did about another 10 miles, by which time, yeah, it was definitely missing cylinders by this time, no power. And I'd also decided that by this time we were going to turn around and head home. And it got gradually worse the closer to home I got, and I eventually limped on what felt like one cylinder remaining. Now, we got to figure out what happened. I'm pretty certain what's happened is that the tank, oh, we put some new decals on these and sprayed them up, by the way. They look a bit better. So we shall see. So I've strengthened all those, put a load of fiberglass behind them. They're a lot more substantial now. But yeah, well, I think what's happened is that the pickup inside of the auxiliary tank behind here is clogged again. If you remember, I had the camera down inside and it was full of gunk. Well, I did clean it one more time, but I don't think I got all the gunk out of it. And I'm pretty certain that's what's happened, but we're going to find out. I'll take this seat off in a minute and let's have a look underneath there. Okay, so as suspected, that fuel filter is empty. I'm glad to see that, because I think what it means is that pickup is blocked. We'll be able to find out. I'll take this off, we'll go and get that big syringe I mess around with a lot. We'll stick that in the end of it and try blasting it and pulling fuel through, and it should just flow freely into here. And it's obviously not doing, because there's not a drop in there. And I suspect if I get a screwdriver and just drain these carbs, that there's not going to be a lot of fuel in them. So I think all that's happened is effectively it ran out of fuel, although it hasn't, because this I did, and this is the only awkward part, I filled this up, so it is full to the brim, and not getting any fuel through to the fuel pump. We might have burnt the fuel pump out. Ugh, hope not. So I think next thing is get a screwdriver. I'm going to see if there's any petrol in the carbs. There's certainly none in that fuel filter. We'll take that off and let's go and get that syringe. So that didn't pan out. I took that off and fuel just sprayed out of this pipe, so it's coming through nice and clean. The pump is working, and the bike started on the first turn, but it just doesn't sound right. I'm going to let it run for a bit, might take it round the block again, but there's something not right. all the pipes are hot, so we suggest it's running on all four, but it just feels, like I said when I was riding it, it just dropped lower and lower and lower on power, and it definitely felt like it was only running on 1 or 2 cylinders by the time I got back. Let's turn that off. No, in fact I want to leave it running. I'll turn you off instead. Yeah, look at this, 1 cylinder time. Yeah, we're definitely not running right here. I'm not even sure I'm going to get back home. Shame. Really wanted to go for a ride today. Look at this. And why is that on? Oh, that's lights. That gets me every time. Yeah. So if we can safely assume it's not fuel, look at this. I think I'm running on 2 cylinders. If I ease off, feels like it's running better when I ease off, but I did have to increase the throttle load to keep it ticking over as well. No, we're not right. Let's get back to the yard. Okay. You can just hear it. I wonder if there's fuel getting to those float bowls. So that's disappointing. And I'm not really sure what it is. We're back to could be quite a few things right now. So I think we'll go back to basics. We'll test the pickups. Make sure they're okay. I do have some other CDI units, but they're for a 750, they're programmable ones. So I might be able to reprogram those, swap them in and just test to make sure that the CDIs are good. But I don't have any spares of these. Could be a coil. I think I'm gonna go buy a heat gun, because yeah, I can touch those exhaust pipes and burn my hands on them, but it's not really telling me, it's just telling me that they're hot. But I don't know what that is. It feels like fuel to me. Feels like fuel starvation. As soon as you start to try and put a bit of power on it, it just loses those cylinders. Mystery. Okay, one to solve.